Hello, family, Facebook family. How are you? It's a beautiful day today, Thursday. I usually come on every Thursday to do these live video because I want to keep us connected and make sure you're there. Give people a few minutes to come on. And today I'm excited about a topic that we're going to be discussing. Um, you know, as I look at the media and I look at what's happening around the world, I am deeply saddened about what our world is becoming and what it is right now. And so one of the biggest reasons I wanted to come and do these live video is because I feel a really sense of urgency to kind of help us all to be conscious of what we're doing, especially if we're dealing with little people. If you have the privilege of being around little people, or you have little ones, or teenagers, or adults around you, human being in the whole, I just want to encourage and inspire and challenge us to be aware of how we're showing up. Are we showing up in a way that injure, or are we showing up in a way that build and help people to become their best self?
Jonathan says hi.
Hi, Jonathan.
Says hi, gorgeous.
Hi. So I wanted us to just be awakened to this. I wanted to share with start with a story. Yesterday, I was getting my nails done, and I do this like every 3 weeks or so to get my nails done. And the precious lady that was doing my nails yesterday, she is obviously from this country, African American, beautiful girl. And usually when you go into an Asian salon, you don't see that. You see all Asians that are doing that, or Vietnamese or what have you. So I just love her energy. And as she was doing my nails, we were talking, we were chatting and so forth. And I said, well, what did you do before you came here? And she said, I was a social worker for 15 years. And I said, really? I said, tell me a little bit about what you've observed in that last 15 years. She said, the reason why I stopped doing that is because it was so sad. Going home every day, seeing how children are being treated because adults are not choosing to change. And so today, last week we talked about the 4 markers of a destructive marriage, or 4 markers that will predict a marriage won't last, or relationships like that are valuable to you wouldn't work or last if we don't change these things in us or help influence changes in other. Kathleen, hi, how are you? Catherine, sorry. Hi, Catherine, how are you? Thanks for coming on and watching us. We're grateful for you. But I wanted to share the 4 things again because I felt last week I was just kind of running through that. You know, when I took the time to think really carefully about it, we can choose to be disasters at relationships, or we can choose to be masters at relationship. And the choice is up to us. Little people, or those that we are taking care of, don't have a lot of choices. And so they don't have the say to say, can you get help? Can you change this about you? They don't have that. They don't have the communication skills to say that to us yet. So I want to talk about those 4 things that I spoke about last week, because I see it over and over again. And obviously, there was a lot of work that I needed to do because mine was defensiveness. You know, I was a queen of that, very defensive. And so I had to take ownership of that and want to work on it, because no one wants to be around you and feel unsafe. So let me come clear with you guys. You know, this journey, we're doing this together. No judgment, no better you, little I. We need each other. We need each other because in reality is I see people are very committed to their education, very committed to looking pretty on the outside, very committed to getting more money, building financial legacy, but very, very few people that I see that are committed to being emotionally intelligent, psychologically intelligent, mentally intelligent, and those things just doesn't accidentally happen. So the 4 markers that I talked about last week are criticism, defensiveness, stonewall, and contempt. I wanted to start with contempt, the first one. As a parent to a child, we can show up in this way. As a brother to sister, we can show up in this way. Mother, father, it doesn't matter relationship, wherever relationships are, we need to be paying attention to these four markers and then become, instead of disaster at relationships, we become masters of relationships. And that's a process. That's not something that's going to happen accidentally. Just like if I want to lose weight, I've been in a season that I've been very strategic of what I eat and how I want to look. At 54 years old, I can tell anybody my age, I don't want to look beaten down and sad and tired and worn out. I want to feel good on the inside as well as the outside. So it's a journey. So the four markers: criticism, it's expressing disapproval or judge. You just come across to your children or a spouse or a friend, your disapproval of them, your disapproval of how they dress. They might not decorate the way you want them to decorate the home. They might not do things a certain way as you wanted them to do because it's not to your standard. So this thing, especially with parents and children relationship, if you want your children to have a healthy, balanced, authentic, connected relationship at every age and stage, then this is imperative for us to learn. Because my daughter always say this to me, and it's a profound statement to me: our kids will give us back what we give them. So if we give them disrespect, criticism, stonewall, and just being defensive, they're going to end up giving us that back. Little people just remain a certain way for a period of time. And then when they started getting 9, 10, 13, 14, they're going to give us back what we give them. So let us become super conscious or be willing to say, what is it? What are the tools that I need to get to show up differently with our loved ones, no matter where you are, every age stage? So criticism. Defensiveness is a form of only one purpose, is to invalidate someone's opinion, to diminish the other person's current thoughts. You know, what you feel is not really the right thing because I'm telling you what you should feel or think. And so, as I stated, that was something that I used to do a lot. Now, I take 100% ownership for that, and I'm working on that diligently. I grew up in a home, however, where I was never allowed to talk, express myself. It was very, very abusive. And like I stated before, there are no judgment. My mother did the best that she could do. My siblings did the best that they could do. Now, when we know different and we don't want to do different, that is really blatant ignorance or blatant denial to say, you know what, I'm not going to change. You change, but I don't need to change. So being defensive is diminishing others people's opinion and thoughts and or their actions, and it's dangerous. We don't want to diminish people's feelings or thoughts, especially if it's significant. And we become hurtful to them. You know, we become hurtful. It's a game that we don't want to play. We don't want to be defensive. Or if we're good at communication and the person is not because they're very timid or passive, we don't want to overpower them by saying, you know what you have to say is not important. And coming from a Guyanese culture, I see this pattern so prevalent. I see it in a lot of Ethiopians and Asians and so forth. And like I stated before, we're more alike than we're different. It's not a judgment. We're more alike than we're different. If I were to sit down with people and say, tell me your story, in their story, I'm going to see myself. When they're telling their story, I can relate to them. And so we're more alike than we're different. The one that I'm very, very serious about, they're all very serious, but this one, contempt. Contempt in a relationship, no matter which relationship, is very, very destructive. And contempt is a willful disobedience, open disrespect for the rules of other people in your life. Contempt is an emotion felt towards the other person, you feel you're inferior to me. I am better than you. I know much more than you know. And I used to say to my children when they were growing up, don't be silent in praise and loud in criticism. Because when we treat people with contempt, we are implying that, you know what, your feelings doesn't matter, your emotions doesn't matter. We come across that we are better than them, lower status position. The other person is regarded as being less than, less intelligent, less knowledgeable than we are. And as parents, we can do that easily, especially children that are in our home, that we feel we give them clothes, college, money, we let them buy a car, we provide everything for them. So we have a right now to diminish what they feel, how they want to show up. And so I'm asking you, if you don't want your children to pick people that diminishes them, that treat them with contempt, that are very defensive or being critical, then you need to model for them what that looks like. So I hear moms and dads tell me all the time that, you know, Sherry, hello, Ivy, hello. I'm so grateful that you guys are joining us today and you can spread this word, because I feel that this is a contribution we all can make, and we might not all have all of them, but we have areas in our lives that we have to take a look at it. And I'm gonna keep bringing this up because I feel that I see it everywhere I go, and I'm like, God, what is it? What is it that you're showing me that people constantly are showing up with their children? And they had a study, the news report just stated that a lot of college students are ending their lives, or they're turning to addictions, and they're turning to pornography, and they're turning to masturbation, they're turning to shopaholic, angerholic, rageaholic, you know, lying, a lot of lying and deception. Some people shoplift. And hi, Terry, it's good to have you on. Thank you for your support. So contempt is treating someone with less, that they're less knowledgeable, less intelligent. And you know, even as little people come up to us and share their days with us, how their day went, I'm asking us to please listen and be careful how we show up with them. And when we make a commitment to do that, you have amazing relationship with your adult children, with your teenage children. I'm not saying this is going to solve all the problem, because a lot of us came from dysfunctional patterns. A lot of us, every one of us have dysfunctional pattern. The question is, are we going to be willing to grow and change? Are we teachable? Are we learnable? Are we growable? Are we flexible? Are we fluid to change in these areas? But this word contempt, it's really, really a serious matter. I see bosses treat employee this way, where they're like, okay, I'm knowledgeable, but you're not. But the fact remains is that when you're around people, the way they dress, the way they put on their makeup, the flowers, the things that they like, is just a wonderful thing to look at. Because I love to see how people are different, how they're unique, and I can learn from them instead of being critical. So, you know, there are things that I'm not good at that Lisa, my assistant, is good at. There are things that Damien is excellent at, I'm not good at. But there are things that Damien is not good at, I am good at. And I love to see the way my 3 children show up, or other people's children. I'm very, very connected to people. And so I look for body language, facial expression. Of course, the last one is Stonewall. And when this shows up in a relationship, it's a refusal to communicate or cooperate when behavior or situation is hurting the relationship. Now, let me repeat that. It's a refusal to communicate or cooperate when behavior or situations is hurting the relationship. And so I see a lot of times when we come from certain cultural background, or even when we were brought up here, because we were brought up with certain blueprint or markers, we don't want to change those patterns. And then we wonder why our children are attracting friends that are not right for them. Why are they going with a certain gang, or why are they doing certain things? Well, it starts at home. How are we willing to change who we are inside from the inside so we can become our best on the outside, because we don't want to be public success and private failures. And I feel a lot of us, because we are focused on making money, building financial legacy, building generational legacy, we want to be educated, we want to have this right and that right. We don't pay attention to that. And so refusals to communicate or cooperate when behavioral situation is hurting the relationship, whether your children, your husband, your spouse, your mate, refusal to listen, to take any guidance or counseling, or be diplomatic negotiations and how we can change the situation. We refuse to do anything that would bring lasting, sustainable changes in the relationship. So let me close with this. It is very important that if you don't want your children to become those things that we talked about, or you don't want them to attract that, it is in our best interest that we take a look at ourselves to say, what is it that I need to change? And I want to encourage us today that you don't want to be like anybody else. I like me. And I tell people often, before anybody liked me, I like me. But there were years and years and years that I didn't like me. And if I don't like me, I can't like anyone else. But because I like me, and I'm grateful for who God is allowing me to become, I can celebrate those around me and totally enjoy and celebrate your success and your progress. So let's be committed to changing these areas, emotionally, relationally, psychologically, spiritually, and mentally. Those areas in our lives will take work. So a healthy relationship will have respect. We will forgive each other. We will have empathy, walking in the person's shoes to say, tell me how I affected you. Tell me what I need to do to change. It will have a commitment to be loyal, to be faithful, to say, you know what, I'm going to invest stocks and influence in this relationship. I'm going to invest time and energy to say, you know what, when I go into the presence of this person, what is it that I need to do to facilitate a healthy, balanced, safe, connected relationship? Whether with as a boss to your employee, whether children to parent, husband to wife, teachers, colleagues, wherever we are in relationship, let us strive to show up. Please share this video. Please tell other people about it. Please send me your feedback. I love the feedbacks that I've been getting. I love the people that are connecting with me. As I said, we're more alike than we're different. I'm honored that I get to come in and to serve you in this way. Thank you. Share the video. Next Thursday, we're going to upload another video, and then we're going to put this on YouTube. Let's change the world together, one person at a time. God bless you, and thank you.